review of what we see transpiring here so far, at least after the daily close, and going in, into the later hours here. Ah, that's better. For some reason it was flashing my eyes real good. But before we get into tomorrow's segment with the crypto trading, but we're kind of in that, I like to say, the opportune moment here, because a lot of people are looking at the market thinking maybe it's a little more bearish. I actually seen a couple people come on and say they're finally done with XRP and they're giving it up. And that's a little perplexing to me, only because we've watched XRP go from 48 cents about, 2-3 months ago. And now it's at $2.46. I mean, if you would have told me that, I'd say, oh my goodness, we must be looking pretty strong. But, we've been stuck in consolidation here. We've had a few signals that have at least given us a short-term, consensus here that we could possibly get a little bit hot here. The start so far in the flip of the clock, it's been a little bearish, but it's got to back test this short-term golden cross. And if we're going to continue to ride down this road, there are back tests that need to happen. Right now, the 200-day, we're at in the 45-minute. Does it come down through to $2.44 possible? Like, that's likely what could happen here. Are we going to try to get some validation on the 20-day time frame? Now that it's crossing here, now it's almost like the pattern's catching up. Top heavy where the more the volume is. But I like the way it closed in the daily time frame. I do. The way it closed, it's at least given us a chance to be engulfing to the top side. After making a new low in the earlier session from yesterday, or earlier in the session in the daily yesterday before the flip, we actually came all the way down, and we were down at about $2.32, but we had a very violent pullback, and it was a nice one. Before the day finished, I mean, it was and if you see where we came to the top, I mean, it was about a 6% reversal, and it put us in good shape for this daily. Puts us in good shape for this daily. Now, it doesn't mean it has to play true, and it may very well come after a back test here, but, because it broke out of the short-term consolidation, you could argue that it would come down here to like possibly $2.41, if we can't get a little reversal here. Not a lot of volume being driven in here the last like 3 45-minute candles. We have a larger playthrough we're trying to finish here out of this descending wedge that broke out. And then if you play this to the truest point, it gets us up to about $3.27. Now, you could say all the way up to $3.42, but I feel more comfortable around $3.27. We've got a big pivot point up there at $2.79 that if we break through there, it's going to be rather interesting, because then we're going to drive right to that $3.27. But this is just a shorter pattern consolidation within a much wider pattern, which is a broadening wedge right now. So we're still playing through a broadening wedge. And the next hit on resistance, approximately, if you measure it out for, I don't think it would be right here, though. I think it would take, I don't think it's just going to happen in one day. Because this would just put us out, now that we've consolidated through. This only puts us to like February 6th, 15th, 16th, which is like this Saturday. Let's just put this to the end here. Like if we have a nice rally through, this could take us to the end of February. But I don't know. I think it's going to take a minute. But then again, the broadening wedge, that's how far it's designed for the next hit. So it appears to me, especially when you look at the evidence of the XRP versus Bitcoin chart, how we have that weekly golden cross, it seems to me that we're speaking to a little bit of a rally, whether that means it's just going to be XRP's not falling as fast as Bitcoin. But I tend to think that XRP's going to have a surge here. And even the charts are suggesting a better than 30% move. Now, we don't know when, we don't know where, and we don't know how. The only thing we do know is if this doesn't break down, it's just a matter of when, not if. So I'm trying to build this out the best I can and look at it in the best unbiased positioning to where what I think could be developing here, and basing it on this, and then also having the XRP Bitcoin pairing. So when you look at XRP versus Bitcoin, when you have these tools at your disposal and you start looking at them, you have to see if they play out truthfully. And right now it's trying to. It almost looks like it's put in an inverse pattern here as well. But the way it's setting up in the weekly time frame, it's just too good to ignore. Like, you know, it's one of those positionings here. It's completely righted the ship here. And now we have that golden cross. And it looks like it's just waiting for a volatile spike here. Now there's always the chance it comes back down and double bottoms or but this almost looks like, if you look at it in a shorter time frame, almost looks like it's setting up some kind of weird flag. Like it set up almost like a bull flag here that it wants to bounce off and have just a volatile swing up. And this would bring us back up to at least this rejection area at 3057. And then this is where it would be, you know, are we really getting hot here? Or are we doing like a shoulder, head, back up to a weird shoulder? As it's our 3 peaks, like boom, 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 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I suspect that if this is playing out because it hasn't gone through wave 5 yet, I suspect what's happening here is it's setting us up to think that it's going to be like a 3 peak or a right shoulder, a 3 top or 3 horns. I don't really care how we describe it. But it kind of feels like to me they want you to think that this is going to happen. But really, we can almost look at this as like, whoop, big boom, and out. And then we can come up to our destinations. It almost feels like that's what we want to do. But, you know, you almost see this a lot when you're looking at stuff like this. And it's like, unless it's ready to give way, you know, and just come right back down. And then this was just a massive top for nothing. I mean, there's always the argument to be said that could happen. But until it happens, I'd like to look at it, you know, in a slightly different scenario. Be a little contrarian here. Nobody wanted to buy it. It rallied. Everybody wants to buy it. It dumps. Nobody wants it anymore. And then it rallies. That's usually the way it goes. Because now the shorts are like, oh, I can't lose. Can't freaking lose in this market. Only problem is that looks like an exhaustion wick to me. So if that's the case, we got some problems if you're going short. Because if we're dealing with exhaustion wicks here, that means XRP is essentially bottom versus Bitcoin for a while. So if it's bottom versus Bitcoin, oh boy. That means every time Bitcoin appreciates, XRP is going to appreciate that much more. That means every time XRP decreases, Bitcoin's going to decrease that much more. It's going to be very interesting if that's the case. You know, and if you look at the sell pressure compared to all the buy pressure, it's non-existent. You had one strong daily candle. That was it. And that, you can argue, was just on that the wick. And most of that could have just been buy back up pressure. Because if you look at the rest of those daily candles, they're atrocious on the XRP Bitcoin pairing. So I tend to think that we just need to stay true here. And if it breaks down, it breaks down, and we can look for opportunities. But where we stand right now, it almost seems too good to be true for the shorts. Like, even if it is going to be a short opportunity, it seems like there's going to be really no way to avoid that 20% surge. Now, if it breaks down, it breaks down. But again, that's, you know, that's what I'm seeing in the market right now. When it comes to XRP and the XRP Bitcoin pairing, I was busy today. That's why I'm on late. I haven't been able to really look at my phone, do anything with my Telegram or anything like that. My emails I haven't been able to get to. I had my windows put in today. And we're in the middle of a winter storm. And they got done just before it, literally like 45 minutes before it started snowing. And now there's probably a couple inches that are getting out there now. But we've got snow for like the next, I don't know, 7-8 hours. School has already been canceled for some reason, which, I mean, that's how it is in these days. So the kids don't have school tomorrow. So I wanted to come on and do my live now. I know it's late. I know I usually come on at about 6, and today it's almost 8. But I thought better late than never. But I'll turn the comments on. I wanted to get through a few points there. And then the last thing before I do turn the comments on, not even sure how many people are here. 181. Okay, there's some people here. More than some. Good evening, everybody. But with Bitcoin, we're still talking about the fact where I think it's on this little cup and handle. I understand it came down more than 50% of the way, but I think sometimes numbers are just numbers, and you're allowed to break the rules. You know, it's usually the standard, except when it isn't, and then it is. or it isn't. You know, so right now, like I said, I believe this is a cup and handle until it's not. So this doesn't scare me. This just came back to the bottom of the pattern. Who cares? That just proved that the symmetrical triangle was a strong enough support. Now that it pushed back out of the symmetrical triangle that was formed inside the broadening wedge, that's bullish as hell right now. And now it looks like we're breaking out of this next tier, which if we break out past this point right here was about 98. Where was this at? I put it exactly where it would have to break past. Right here. It's about 98,534. This is just swinging around, but it's actually set here. I'll put it more level. Like that 98,500 or somewhere around there. Once it breaks that, because it's trying to break out of this descending, almost like a descending wedge, which is in the handle, but that should bring us up to 122,000. But it's bullish until 114, at least the initial, but it's targeting 122. And that's not only the target out of this short-term cup and handle, which that's what I'm deeming it. See, these are my charts, so if somebody else says something else, you know, if there's a channel named Rocket Booster or whatever, I don't know channels. Well, I do know channels, but I don't want to mock anybody. But I can't tell you what the Shoveled Eddie says, you know, or Testicular Tom, or, you know, anybody. So I can only tell you what XRP Future Millionaire says, what I say, you know. So if Farmin' Freddy and, you know, Hysterical Helena and all these other people tell you something else, or Charts McGee, I can't vouch for Charts McGee, but I can I can vouch for myself. So if you ask me or base it on what somebody else says, I can't tell you what spectacular, spicy, you know, all encompassing, you know, Hernando says, or Hernandez. But we can say what we say here. So the cup and handles, we had a massive one in the beginning, and the technical target was 122,000, and it just so happens the technical target off of this breakout of the symmetrical triangle with that short-term cup and handle is actually right at just over 122,000. So when you start to line it all up, it's basically the same as XRP. We're coming out of that 7-year descending wedge. XRP's target was $5.49. Then we created a pennant flag, and then it ended up not being a pennant flag, but that target ended up being $5.39. Then we created a broadening wedge, and you can't make this up. The pennant flag turned into a broadening wedge in the bigger term, and that target out of the broadening wedge is $5.49 approximately. Depends. Whoops. It depends. Oh, shit. It depends where you look at it. But it's so funny. It's so funny how this all plays out. Like, you couldn't make this up if you tried. You couldn't make it up if you tried. It actually, where was this at? Because where are we at in the pattern? Because I was trying to line it up with sometime, if it came to the end of the week, end of the month. That doesn't matter. Whoops. Guess I can get that out of the way. I'm always too particular, but I like to see how I get to things. Yeah, see right there. That's where we line it up. So it's just the fact that all of these are pointing to the exact same section. It's almost comical. If you ask me, it's like almost a comical thing at this point that all of the charts, no matter what it forms, all points to the same area for XRP. No matter what Bitcoin does, the ups and downs, left and right, it all always points to the same spot. The fact that XRP's only had 4 waves, it all points to the same spot. But I don't think it's going to be as big as we all think. Only, you know, past $5 and something cents for what some think, because it can't be greater than, we can't be greater than wave 3. There's a whole bunch of contradictions we could make with this if you talk about the Elliot Wave, but the only one that we can't make is the fact that it's a 5 wave and we've only done 4. So there's a lot of things to dissect. There's a lot of things to look through. And before I turn the comments on, there's one bit of reading that I wanted to do, and it goes back into the Elliot Wave. So I want everybody to just be patient with me, and then I'll do the intro after I read this, but I want everybody to just pay attention, and we'll read a little bit out of the Elliot Wave, just so you can get a little bit of a deeper understanding than me just talking about it. So Elliot Wave analysis breaks descending resistance, but still trades below $2.50. So Ripple XRP has been undergoing a prolonged correction, but is now showing signs of a potential bullish reversal. Key technical levels suggest that momentum is building for a breakout. On the 4-hour chart, XRP has been undergoing an extended corrective phase. Following its peak at $2.90 in December, the price action has been structured within a complex Elliot Wave pattern, forming an extended WXY correction. This structure saw XRP attempting a recovery rally in mid-January, making a higher high at $3.40 before succumbing to a sharp retracement, ultimately setting a lower low of $1.77 on February 3rd, which was important because we hit that monthly fair value gap around $1.83, which was beautiful. However, strong demand emerged at this level, driving a sharp recovery and leaving a 26% wick on the 4-hour candle as the price closed above $2.25. The market structure suggests that XRP may have completed its correction and is now in the early stages of a new bullish cycle. The break above the descending resistance trendline further strengthens the case for a trend reversal. However, price action must sustain above this breakout level to confirm a bullish shift. The relative strength index RSI is rebounding from oversold conditions and is now approaching neutral levels. If the RSI climbs above 60, it would signal renewed bullish momentum. Fibonacci retracement levels indicate that XRP has reclaimed $2.45, which aligns with the 0.236 Fibonacci level. Key resistance now lie at $2.90, the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement, and $3.08, the 1.0 Fibonacci level, which correspond to structural highs from previous price action. Failure to hold above $2.45 could lead to a retest of support at $2.26, or even a decline towards $1.95. As long as XRP remains above the breakout structure, the bullish outlook remains intact. On the 1-hour chart, XRP appears to be in the early phases of a new impulse wave structure. Can only cross our fingers. The breakout from a symmetrical I guess that's not crossing my fingers. I don't even know what the hell that is. A-okay. The breakout from a symmetrical triangle pattern signals the potential for further bullish continuation. If this breakout is confirmed, XRP could rally toward key Fibonacci extension targets, with $3.59 to 1.618 Fibonacci serving as the next significant level, followed by a possible extension towards around $4. The significance of this is around that $3.59. As we get into that, I'm not even hyping this at all. There's like $10 trillion in this area of short liquidations. When you go anywhere between $3.30 and that area they're talking, it's actually more than that. It's astounding how many short traders for XRP would absolutely get obliterated. They wouldn't call it testicular Tuesdays or testicular fortitude. They would call it deflationary Wednesday or no balls McGee, if you catch my drift. The immediate challenge is the $2.77 resistance level, which coincides with the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement from the previous decline. A decisive breakout above this level would likely trigger accelerated upside momentum, targeting the next resistance at $3.08. However, a rejection at $2.77 could lead to a pullback towards $2.45 or even $2.26, where support must hold to maintain the bullish outlook. Elliot Wave analysis suggests that XRP is developing an impulse wave count, with wave 3 projected to reach $3.60 if momentum sustains. A corrective wave 4 may then pull back slightly. See, and this would be crazy if they're just trying to say that this is a wave 3, and that's, you could argue that we had one giant wave 1, a giant corrective in wave 2, and then if this is just wave 3, that means wave 3 could be the wave to $4. You'd have a corrective wave back down. I don't know, because the way I'm looking at it, I feel like we could micromanage this, but I don't care. I'm all for it. Wave 3, wave 5, I don't really care which way we're saying it, as long as we're not through wave 5 and it actually completes. If it's only wave 3, it might take a little bit longer, but I get, it's so tough, because if that's the case, that $6.79 could be in play if this is only actually wave 3. If that's how some are discerning this, man, I'll be very happy about that. Maybe that's why the $6.79 stands out as the end-all, be-all. If it could actually break past that 549, we've often questioned why that always shows up. It's interesting. The RSI is trending higher, but has not yet entered overbought territory, indicating room for further appreciation before a potential retracement. If XRP fails to maintain above $2.45, I thought XLM was only in wave 3. Maybe I'm looking at XRP wrong, trying to make something out of a 2-wave move that wasn't even there, and that was more of like maybe it wasn't XYZ. Maybe that's what happened here, and we just had that. Wow, if that's the case, we got a little bit of meat. Well, I already knew we had meat on the bones, but we could have more than I thought. A small amount more. It's not like it's crazy, but it's something. If XRP fails to maintain above $2.45, the breakout attempt will be invalidated, shifting the focus back toward the broader consolidation range. Conversely, a breakout above $3.08 could confirm a strong bullish wave, opening the door for a sustained rally beyond $4 in the coming weeks. Doesn't that just make you salivate thinking that? Immediate resistance is $2.77 to 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. The key resistance is $3.08 to 1.0 Fibonacci level. Major resistance is $3.59 to 1.618 Fibonacci extension. Potential wave 3 target. I'm all for that. If this is only on wave 3, it would make sense because that's what I see XLM as. I just thought, although it never made a new high, that's the thing. Like, it never came back around and made that extension. This actually makes me even more bullish than I already was, and I was already bullish. Immediate support, $2.45 to 0.236 Fibonacci retracement. Key support, $2.26 recent breakout support. I don't see anything wrong with these numbers. Critical support, $1.95, structural low and invalidation level. Because then you would only have one level left at that $1.77 region, which was that cycle bottom since the top. And then we also had the monthly fair value gap that would have gave through. But you would expect if it came down that far, I hope it would hold. But you don't want it to go back down there. The more times you go down there, the less likely it is to hold. Fear and greed index was around 50 earlier, which is astounding that it's only at 50. I think a lot of people are jumping ship. I do. I think a lot of people are jumping ship. You wouldn't believe how many people had in my comments in my morning video. Oh, I can't believe how Marit's dropping. XRP's falling off a cliff. What are you, blind? Actually, yes, I am. So, you know that you're not far off from there. But I'm looking at the charts. I'm like, Joe, is everybody complaining because XRP went down like 6 cents in the consolidation? Remember when I said that this morning, Julie? Do you remember? Oh, Julie's in her own world. So, it was pretty interesting. And then you see the reversal happen, and everybody's probably, what the hell is going on, these con artists? It's like it's just going back and forth, retesting the waters. But anyhow, let me turn this on. So, welcome in, everybody. If this is only wave 3, wow, DigiByte still play? Oh, it absolutely is. But that would explain it, too. That's what I'm saying. I keep saying XLM's in wave 3. But XRP's in wave 5. Like I said, maybe like I said the same thing with Algowitz in wave 3. Maybe I was overanalyzing XRP, and it's got a massive extension to go here. People bought big green candles, and they got... Oh, absolutely. Nobody likes to buy when it looks like trash, but everybody wants to buy when it's looking, like there's no going anywhere but up. I tend to like to be the contrarian. We had some wild movements. Hey, it's nice to see Maddox back over 33 cents now, or Poly, depending on how you look at it. This has had some wild movement as well. Almost looks like it. Man, it looks like we're getting ready to just come back up to the top of the structure. I feel like the crypto market's about to finesse everybody real quick. I can't say that I'm mad about gold and silver, though. I mean, Barrick Gold was up 6.4% today. Beautiful. Beautiful. B2 Gold still lagging behind. It's going to have a 25% day here coming up soon. maybe more. Silver's up over 32. Gold's over 2,900 on the close today, which was freaking phenomenal. Well, actually, it's really not a close for gold, but close enough. Fortuna was up. But I think our price, I think our crypto's looking pretty good here. I do. I think crypto's looking pretty good. Oh, exactly. Somebody said that 6 cents is nothing compared to the retracement to $1.77. Absolutely. But that's what happens when you're in cycles. That's why the ones who lose out here are the traders. So I got to get in before the market cycle, and then you got to find ones that haven't exactly done the cycle yet. And I'm going to stutter a little bit here with DGB, but I think DGB is a play beyond plays that not a lot of people pay attention to outside of probably me. As far as like influencers go, I mean, I can't say that I watch anybody, but
you have 222 people watching.
Hey, we have 222 people watching, which is phenomenal. And DGB, looking at, I'm talking about DGB saying that this could be a play. The spirits are watching, folks. This is what I expect in the long term out of DGB. And I have 1.3 million shares, tokens. And I started buying at 0.004, 006, 008, 1.1, 007. This last one was 0089, I believe, or whatever. I don't remember. But I believe that this is behind XRP. See how it's making the big W? I believe it's behind. I think this is behind. I think we're going to come all the way back around and then we're going to make some damage. I really do. Because it does it every time in its history. It overcorrects every time it goes up and makes a new area that it'll come back above the next time around. But it always seems to double back. I don't know. See, I think one of these times, because these utility tokens, and DGB is a utility token in the Internet of Things, I think the utility tokens eventually aren't going to double back, and we're going to start seeing like what XRP is doing. Like, hey, we just came from the 45-cent region, and I know we went up to 340, but we're not coming back down below $1.75. And in the past, we would have said, oh, bullshit, we're going to end up coming back below $1 because we always do. Now it feels like it's going to be a struggle to keep it below 2. That's a big difference here. It almost feels like $1.75 is the new floor for XRP until otherwise noted. So it seems very interesting. But there's a lot. I see a lot of questions about H-bar. Yes, with Canto, my friend in the audience. I have Canto. Just over 60,000 tokens because of you. So I'm going to blame you if it goes to shit. No, I'm just kidding. I kid. I wouldn't blame you. I actually think that it's an interesting token just for the pure fact, even if I didn't know anything else about it, the pure fact that it seems to do the opposite of the market. So it kind of front runs when a market flip's about to happen. It's intriguing to me. At 1.6 cents, I mean, it's getting into that range where it's almost back to the bottom here again. It might be. Oh, no, it's not. I just have this poorly done. But it's amazing how it actually shot up to the top here and then it just came right back down. But it's more like this. So what is that? 1.3 cents. But it's got layers. This one's got layers. It's going to take forever. Or it's just going to take nowhere near as long as we think. And it's going to have one big shot. It had one. Even on the breakdown volume to consolidate back down, not getting that sell pressure that we had on the buy pressure. This is ready to go again. I love this one because I've watched it twice now. Actually, no, I didn't watch it from... We might have been watching it from here because you might have talked about it. Then it came up. Where was it at? It came up, came down. Yeah, that's what it did. Remember, I remember it went up to 3.3 and I said, I'm not going to let it happen again if it comes to the uptrend. And then I bought it when it came to the uptrend. And then I got to watch it go up and down, up and down. So I'm in it to win it with this one, but it could take a while. Could take a while. I always measure it to the back. We can't really measure this one to the back. So we'll just keep watching it. That's going to be a fun one. IOTX finally had a decent day yesterday until the flip. MXC, pay attention to. That's an Internet of Things token. This has 2.66 trillion. Yeah, if it had trillion, I wouldn't even care. It has 2.66 billion total circulating supply. 2.44 billion are already in circulation. So leaves what, 220 million left. But this one came to the lowest of lows, so I was very interested with it. And I've bought 1 million tokens of it when it came down here. A few days ago, actually. It was right around the 2.9 something level. Just right down here. I mean, it was... Actually, was it down far? I don't fucking know. I just know... No, it was somewhere down here. We'll just say 003. Close enough. Right in this... It was in this area, but it was like 4 days ago when it came down. And I said it's intriguing because it came through, and I just didn't see a lot of downside here. It's got this descending wedge, and I think it was just an overzealous sell-off. Now, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you know, goes down farther, and I'll probably buy more because, well, I will buy more. It's in the Internet of Things, and you can clearly see volumes picked up to the biggest amount that it's had ever. At least in the foreseeable past. Actually, it is ever. Look at that, the biggest volume surge that it's ever had, and then it dropped. But look at that massive green volume. That tells me that when this surges, that's going to be a steal. So I'm all in it. I'm all in for buying the stuff that's at 003, and it's an IoT token with 2.66 billion max supply. That's intriguing to me. That's intriguing to me. Like, that's at 003. It's not at 01 or 02. It's at 003. I mean, that's just to get to 01, you got to do almost 300x. I mean, a 300x, a 3, or what is it? A 2x from where we bought it. So, well, I mean, where I was buying it. But I'm sure some bought it cheaper, some bought it more. But that's just one that, it's so appealing to me. Oh, it's so appealing. XRP, again, we just got to be patient. It's got to be, well, I'll look at XLR. XLR has actually been on a little bit of a tear here. I got up to 12,500 plus, just over 12,570 tokens. Because it came down to like 33 cents. And I'm like, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I mean, when it came down, I couldn't believe it. Like, it came down so easily. SEC could announce XRP ETF approval on February 13th. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, it is. I seen this. The grayscale one. Where is this at? Right here. I seen this earlier. I read it. I'm glad you brought this up. I have this on my phone, and I forgot to put it on my tablet when I started. Excellent. Julia, are you watching the live?
Mm-hmm.
Can you put it sideways on your phone? I'm sure you can because nobody said anything. All right, good. Nope, it's fine. I looked. Because it wouldn't work when I first started, but then I figured out what to do, so I don't have to wait now.
Video sideways.
So XRP ETF news. SEC may review grayscale filing. Key data revealed. So the buzz around an XRP exchange traded fund ETF is growing louder, and investors are watching closely. Fox Business journalist Eleanor Tourette suggests that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, could acknowledge Grayscale's 19B-4 filing for an ETF, an XRP ETF, as early on as February 13, 2025. However, this would be the first time in recent memory that Eleanor Tourette was right about something, so we have to take that with a grain of salt. If that happens, it could be a major step toward XRP joining the ranks of Bitcoin and Ethereum, both of which already have spot ETFs. If you're mad about something I said, I can't help what they wrote. Even if you don't see it, it was invisible ink. Sometimes I have to read between the lines. As per their very helpful table from at JSEF and Eric BITUNIX, we could see the SEC government acknowledge Grayscale's XRP spot ETF filing as early as Thursday, February 13th. If indeed it chooses to acknowledge it, actually, let me finish reading this. The SEC usually has around 15 days to acknowledge it. The SEC usually has around 15 days to acknowledge a 19B-4 filing, and Grayscale filed their conversion application on January 30th. Man, I feel like I'm watching an episode of Law and Order sometimes when I'm reading through this. Dun-dun! Like we're getting there, but we're never actually going to get there. And then we're not sure exactly what's going on because the rules always change depending on who's in front of the rules. I don't know. It's kind of strange. either way, it should give us a good idea of how the current SEC government commission is thinking about XRP. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, let's finish reading this. So this development comes after New York. Why can't I see anybody's comments, Julie?
No, I can.
Is people commenting right now? I know they are. I know people are commenting. And I know, unless it's just the one. Was the last comment if it plays out?
Yes.
All right, good. So it came back on. Sometimes it's been popping up, sometimes it hasn't. Because all of a sudden on my thing, like 5 comments came up before. And
Someone said, oh, yeah.
yeah, I see these now. Good. DAB Constellation price target.
No comment.
I have to, I haven't looked at my DAG chart in a while, but I got so much stuff to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to get the DAG. I don't have a target. Let's see. On January 30th, the list and trade shares of Grayscale's XRP Trust, mirroring its Bitcoin and Ethereum Trust. But will the SEC approve it? And how does the ongoing Ripple lawsuit play into this? The road ahead is full of twists and turns. Here's what you need to know. Tourette noted that the SEC usually acknowledges such filings within 15 days. If that happens, it could give insights into how the current SEC... We already know this. Now, what is this crap? Let me try again. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care about somebody else. We already know about the legal challenges. So, yeah, that's the news that we're talking about. But, I mean, do you trust what Eleanor Tourette says? I mean, I hope she's leading into something and not feeding into something else. But I guess we'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But we could see a nice little surge up here due to the expectation. Like, would we be mad if we just rallied up to 279 real quick on the false hope? Give me some false hope, baby. It seems like these days it's all that lights the fire under the ass of us. The only thing that gets people to buy is false hope. So give us some false hope, damn it. If Eleanor Tourette says we're going to get an ETF possible tomorrow, that's right. Sean, XRP to $5 by Friday. I'll take it. $5 by Friday, Julie.
Yeah.
We'll have them talking about our floors by Monday. If that's the case.
That'd be nice.
Well, we got our windows done and we're just waiting on the kitchen in March. Yeah, they got to come in and do the kitchen in March now. I know. We got through the windows.
That was actually pretty quick. 5 hours.
Still got through it. Yes, James. Give me that false hope now, damn it. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take a little false hope. Like how Randy Marsh, back in the day, I don't know if any of you remember watching South Park. I used to watch it a while ago. And Randy Marsh, they just came out with the cannabis dispensaries, but you had to have a medical marijuana card. So he put his balls basically in the microwave, and his kid comes over there and says, hey, mom told you, yada, yada, yada. And he said, oh, don't worry, just tell your mom I'm getting a little bit of cancer. Because he wanted to get that medical marijuana card. And it was just, I always think of that with this. I always think of that. Yeah, integrity. Respect my authority. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, the Cannabis Podcast is in the house. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. See, we mentioned the word cannabis, and he just appeared. He's like our leprechaun when we talk about cannabis. You talk about a pot of gold, and you see the leprechaun. Although the leprechaun's a slimy little bastard, there's no pot of gold. There's not. There's no pot of gold with the leprechauns. Have you ever seen one, Julie?
Have you ever seen a leprechaun? No.
Have you?
No. Well, how can you say that if you've never seen
Have you ever seen the leprechaun horror movies?
Yes.
That's what I imagine a leprechaun to be greeting me with. I don't think he's greeting me with the pot of gold. I think he's...
Someone said they'd rather have a lot of pot.
Hey, a pot of green can turn into a pot of gold if you know the right people. A pot of pot.
I'll take that.
Hey, a pot of pot could be a pot of anything. It's a pot of many pots. But I just think we're all going to be a little happy soon. I can't shake the feeling. Well, we could be very disappointed, but happy that the fact the price drops a bunch, then we can buy a bunch more stuff.
Everybody knows leprechauns are extinct. They're extinct?
Leprechauns are extinct. Uh-oh.
So they were real?
They're haunting us, see? Who has seen a shapeshifter? Unfortunately, I don't want to talk about. I might get banned, but that's the interesting part of the topics. I love it. I love it. Let's see, only 39 minutes, so 40 minutes. Look at that, Julie. We're 4/6 of the way through our run.
Just celebrated 2 years of sobriety.
I just celebrated 2 years of sobriety. Was a half gallon of vodka a day. Oh damn! I'd take a half a sip. Gallon of vodka a day drinker. Proud of myself. Couldn't have done it without my Lord and Savior. Absolutely, James. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's not an easy task. That is not an easy task. Praise our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, you know, that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you got to give it all away, you know, to gain some redemption. I think that's a beautiful thing. Congratulations, my friend. That is no small task. And look, there's more than one person preaching the name of our Lord, which means God's presence. So he sees and hears all.
222 people in here.
And there's 222 people in here, which is crazy because that's the sign of the angels. So look at, we're speaking of this while the angels are amongst us with God present. You can't get any more clear, you can't get any more clear of the message there. That's crazy. All in your moment, my friend. That was all in your moment. That's awesome. Shane, it's going great, my friend. Really appreciate it. Gotta have faith. Indeed. Indeed. Hey, that's why we're getting ahead here.
Oh, someone asked how Tifa's doing a while ago.
Tommy's doing good. He's doing a lot better this week. He felt better.
He had a great
By the end of the weekend, he was doing really good. And we've had issues like potty training him with his he's got a G tube and stuff, but he went potty for the first time on the toilet at school yesterday, so that was a big breakthrough for him. So we'll see if he finally starts to figure it out, because it's no small task. Some people, and I would like him to not have to wear Depends for the rest of his life if he has to have his G tube. You know, some people never figure it out and they just wear Depends. I think he can figure it out. He's young enough to where he can start to figure out his body a little bit. And hopefully he, you know, so, but that was a big thing for him. That was a big thing, and I'm glad. Thank you for asking about it. I don't know who it was, but whoever asked, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But yeah, we're watching XRP just slowly but surely trek up here. I think even at XLM, we were on the ball with this. I think we're in this descending wedge. It just had overzealous touchdowns there. We had that nice little line drawn just in case it came down through. And I think we're about to surge up here a little bit. Even if we just came up to resistance, we were talking about a better than 25% move. When it was back testing down here, yeah, maybe it's about 20% now, 17.5, and it's still making its way up. We're trucking up here slowly but surely. And if we can get past that region, we've got a technical move that can get us into some pretty nice areas. And it also looks like an inverse head and shoulders. I know we had this dump down here, and I know it could invalidate this, but I think something strange is going on here. I think something strange, like that really is an inverse head and shoulders possibly. And what would it look like? And maybe it's not by definition because of how far it pulled down, but I'm not a by definition kind of guy. I didn't teach myself by definition of what these charts were. I taught it by consistency within the chart. Like I could say, oh, it broke down, but I don't know. I don't know if that's really what happened. I almost think maybe something like this happened and we're playing through, and then when it comes through, like it's expanded. Like I think if we look at it more like that, I think we can kind of think maybe, hey, I don't know. I think we're being played a little bit. But hey, I could be wrong. I could be playing myself, not playing with myself, playing myself. That's a mind over member kind of thing, you know? That's in the mind, not on the member, if you catch my drift. For the women inside the member, I suppose. Well, actually, that doesn't make any sense, but I guess you can catch the drift. Oh, XLM. Yeah, this is XLM. This is XLM. As the great Phil Collins said, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. And as the great Quagmire once said, giggity, 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 oh yeah. Anyhow, Oh, I love this audience. See, I feel members only. We didn't even smoke any cannabis tonight. This is just how we are. Oh, it's great. Oh, this is unbelievable. But watching the snow outside too is kind of nice. And, you know, because it's behind me coming down, it's not so different outside today. What do you think of the ETF tomorrow? Well, the fact that Eleanor Tourette said it, I'll believe it when I see it. I would like to believe something's going to come of it, but the last time she was right, I don't think I was born yet, and I'm 41 years old. ZBAC is getting very spicy. It moved up about 20%. Then it almost looks like it created an inverted hammer. I love ZBAC. The ZBAC. I have 3 million tokens of ZBAC. It's going to take time, though, folks. That's going to take time. I'm almost as excited about Moonchain. I know, it's crazy. But the more I call it, the more I see it. Whoop, I took some of the profits left out and bought more XRP. That's okay. You're allowed. You are allowed. Well, I mean, it's a lot, but it's a cheap asset right now. Very cheap. I think it's at 0.001. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. Oh, yeah, it is 001. It's different because when I was buying it, it was at 007. So it looks strange to even be where it's at right now. But it actually had a... Did you go poo-poos again? Wow. So it actually had a nice little surge up. And now it's come back down. But that looks like... I mean...
You're going to have to shovel.
Yeah. Only the third time this year.
Hey, there's a package.
Hey, is that the thing for the... So I can cut the wood? No, guys, I'm not talking about beating the meat stick. I'm talking about actually cutting wood, you sick bastards. You know, somebody on Fortnite, and I was going to say it rubs me the wrong way, but, you know, then again, we're going back down to the membrane. But I said, this son of a bitch earlier. And we won the game, but this stupid kid... we're basically being flanked the front and the back. And I said there's a guy coming in the back door, and this kid just freaking... When I tell you this kid went... I don't even know how to describe how much this kid laughed, and I was like, oh, here's my moment. Because I remember being in middle school and high school and laughing my ass off at something like that. Oh, this kid, he really didn't let it go. But then when you're the only one with game sense and they all die and you have to revive them, they shut up real quickly. But you know, that's how it rolls. That's how it goes. My mom, she's doing pretty good. She, well, it remains to be seen with other things. But as far as her diverticulitis, sorry, I spilled my water like only I can. But no, she had her surgery on Friday. And they removed between like 8 and 10 inches. It's like your colon, your intestinal tract. Rerouted it to her colon. And she actually did well. She got out of the hospital after 3 days of staying there overnight. Got released on Monday. She's staying with my sister. That's all going great. But now it's other things because there's other things. There are other things with my mom. But at least for that part of it, it's good. We'll see in the future. But there's lots of things. My mom's, I don't know. My dad's basically, you know, he was dealing with this congestive heart failure. My mom's basically dealing with what appears to be could be like kidney disease. I don't know. It's an interesting time we're going through. So, well, we'll see how it goes. So you kind of just take it day by day, and you know, I look at what they did, and I try to do a little bit better in my lifestyle, you know, and try to do some things. Has the same. Last year she has a Storma bag. Oh, really, Mellow? Yeah, my mom didn't need to get any kind of bag, at least fortunately. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but at least right now she avoided that. They didn't end up nicking anything or anything like that, or it just ended up being, I guess, just right to where she didn't need any further. But we'll see in the future. We'll see in the future what happens. But yeah, it was good news. She was afraid that was going to be the route that she would have to go, but she's got other things she's dealing with. So we'll see what the Lord's plans are here. But we're all given a decision. So, you know, there's been years of things that have led to this and things like that. So all we can do is try to gracefully go through time and be the best we can with our bodies, because, you know, you can only damage it so much before it starts to go the other way. Man, it does look like XRP is preparing for something huge. It does. Before I run out of time, because my son's gonna be falling asleep too, so in the next 10 minutes I'm gonna have to go. But before I run out of time, I want to look at H bar. I know some of you brought this up. It's so weird where H bar's at. The fact it fell outside of this prematurely and now it's pushed back in. This could, because that's how it was set up. I didn't want to change this until we looked at it together, but I think we know what's going on here. If you just cut this off and then you bring this down, I almost think we could look at it. Remember how we looked at XRP as a broadening wedge? Do you think maybe it's the same thing here? Just be honest. Do you think possibly that these could have all, like some of these shifted into these broadening wedges? I think it would make a hell of a lot more sense on what actually happened. And it's actually a very bullish consolidation. It just, we weren't ready. It wasn't ready to show us what was really going on until that last drop. It proved broadening wedges across the board on some of these. I mean, maybe that's what actually happened here, because once I seen that happen, because it's still within a larger consolidation, you know, we still haven't technically on algo got outside of where we need to get outside of. I agree with that. I hustle. I agree with that. I hustle harder than you. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's actually more spot on than most would care to admit. I do. Because I believe the AI trading bots control it all myself. And that's why the algorithms and understanding the charts are so important, because what's an AI? A trading bot. What's it reading? It's reading structures. It's reading different patterns. So if it's set and it creates a pattern and it understands how to maximize potential profit versus loss, if the market makers have a certain destiny, they know exactly what to get inside of our heads are. I mean, if they do studies in the government where they're going to waste $50 million to see how a dog reacts on cocaine, I'm sure they've done some stupid study on how a human reacts to a cycle flow, or how, you know, I mean, there's so many stupid studies. I mean, that one's true. I don't know if it was 50 million, but it was a significant amount of money last year in the budget. Oh yes, I went through it. They spent several $1 million to see how dogs react to cocaine. I mean, what do we make of that? We couldn't find any better way to spend the money? Give me that money and see how we can turn it into something. I wish the government would give me the money. Instead of giving me $50 million to see how the dog does on cocaine, give me $50 million to see how my money does invested in silver. You know, a sure asset. And just let it go up over time. Like, this is horseshit. Think what they did to the dogs? What the hell did the dog do to deserve? You don't want to be on cocaine. We already know they do legal studies on citizens. You know, it's called Adderall. Oh, I can't go down that road. But it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Make sure your mind stays intact. You know, it's the number one thing. It's the number one killer of understanding, is our mind being taken from us. Like, it really is. It's a crazy world we live in. You ever see the movies when we were kids, like the Body Snatchers and all this? I think they're mind snatching. I think they're mind friggin' snatching. And it's through psychotropics. Oh, I said too much. Anyhow, honestly, this looks like it's building a friggin' handle to me or something. This looks like a handle if I've ever seen it. H-bar does not look that bad. It's breaking out. What a time to be alive. It is certainly. Could have just asked an old Mexican farmer, one of my, I got to read that. One of my uncles. What did his uncle know? What did his uncle know? One of my uncles told me he knew narcos who would. Oh, absolutely. Smart man. He knows what was happening. I think we built this could be I don't know if it was way up there, but if it's doing this to back test this to do this, I think we're just getting started here. I really think we're just getting this is a weird one though. It literally built the handle. Although we can go back to another farther, but anyhow. So much potential there. Somebody asked me to look at Axlar before I left. It's all the way up to almost 50 cents now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Axlar is starting to move finally. We talked about the best possible buy would be if we could get it on this uptrend, or the stationary support again, because that's the all-time uptrend, or at least from where we started looking at it. And I bought it a little bit up here first, and then I said I'm going to buy more if it comes down to here, and I did. I bought it up to 12,000. I think I had like 6,000 or 7,000 tokens, and I upped it to 12,500. I started buying it on the drop. But then I bought the rest of it when it hit that uptrend. Like, I couldn't resist. And I didn't know I was going to have that many, if I'm being honest. But when it came back down into that under 40 cent range, it's like it was just, I thought it was too good of an opportunity. It's up like 57% from the floor now. Unbelievable. And that's another one where we had the cycle we had before the massive, this is a bear market lows here. We hit bear market lows for a split second. And it looks like that could be what surges us. This could be what finally gets us going here. Still got a lot of work to do, but we're breaking back into that more bullish section here. It's a little, I call it the inception rule, because this, I think, is building. Oh, and don't shoot the messenger if it takes forever. Or if you're shorting it, don't shoot the messenger. I think we're building a big cup. And eventually it's going to play out, and we're going to say, what the hell? How didn't we see this? And we're going to say, oh, yeah, we did see it. You know how I know? Because we're up 7x. So this is you don't make money on the run. You make the money on the drop. That's what everybody, I think a lot of people don't understand that. You don't make the money on the rally. You make the money on the drop. And if you want to get situated so that you can make money on further drops or in bear markets or bull markets, but because you bought in the bear market, because let me tell you, if you buy in the bull market and you're buying bull market tokens that are already having their bull cycle, the odds are you're probably going to get punched in the teeth, only because even if you make a good trade, think of all the people that bought XRP at $3.30, $2.90, $2.70, instead of buying it when it was not a sure thing, when nobody wanted to talk about it. And that's how you have to look at this. You have to buy things when nobody wants it. And the only way you're going to really be able to do that is in the bear market. And like Axlar was back to bear market lows. MXC was below bear market territory where it was at the lowest of lows. I'm trying to show different things where I truly believe that we're in positions that are primed. Like DGB and ZIL and some of the other ones that are still so freaking cheap that it almost makes me want to punch my head, punch myself in the face. I had a very tempting moment with myself saying, Tom, if XRP gets to $5.49 and DGB's at like 1 cent, would you very much risk all of those tokens and just put in DGB? I probably wouldn't, but I've had that conversation with myself with certain tokens that I think are going to... And the cool thing about MXC is the circulating supply versus total supply, like 2.66 billion total tokens, and there's already 2.4 billion. That is dirt cheap for an Internet of Things token. Dirt cheap. So anyhow, if you're looking to buy XRP, your favorite cryptos in the USA or abroad, with no VPN or KYC if you don't choose to do it, because BITUNIX is a no KYC exchange. Well, I mean, you can do it, but it's because you don't withdraw off the exchange into your bank account. You send it to your other exchanges and withdraw it. But it's the lowest spot in leverage trading, but it's also the lowest maker-taker fee. So if you're a leverage trader, it's the way to go. If you're looking to sell from another exchange, I would definitely flow it through BITUNIX because of the fees being so cheap. I've started to do that myself for about 2 years now. On BITUNIX, I've been doing it for over a year. And I haven't used anything else for it because it's the cheapest. So that's what I do. And then I send it back to where I'm going. But yeah, that's what I would do. There's other ways that I trade, but I think BITUNIX is the cheapest. Now, with some of these tokens like ZBEC, I bought it on crypto.com. Do it always with a limit order. Don't do market orders no matter where you're trading. But yeah, MXC is absolutely an Internet of Things token. MXC is an IoT token. That is what intrigues me about it. I've watched it for quite some time. And when it made that new lowest of lows, well, here, first, let me, just so you guys can see the max, well, it's 2.664. There's 2.44 something in supply right now. But it's supposed to be 2 points, whatever. But you see it right there. Yeah, there's a maximum supply of 2.664. So, and then MXC, when you look at the list of IoT tokens, it's on there now. I don't know what Google is going to say. I don't usually look at it by just typing it on Google. MXC is a native token of the IoT platform MetaX Connect. The purpose of the network is to allow devices to connect. Yeah, it creates connectability with the internet, but it's more than that. When you actually read through it, it helps devices connect to like smart houses and smart devices, and I almost think it's almost like a gateway for smart devices, but it's definitely an Internet of Things. So that's what intrigues me, and it's so friggin' cheap. That's one of the ones, as far as with how many tokens are out versus how many are available. That thing is so fucking so cheap for where it's positioned. I'm almost surprised that it's still that cheap and that it made that newer low. I haven't been that intrigued about a token in a little while. And like, yeah, I love ZBEC and other ones, but like, we're talking about difference in circulating supplies here as well. I know I gotta go, but damn it, I'm passionate about what I talk about. ZBEC has 71,827,400 is that billion or trillion? 1,827,424,000. Is that? Oh no, that's 0.669. Yeah, so 71.8 billion. And it's 72% below its all-time high, yada yada yada. So I mean, you can tell there's a lot more tokens on ZBEC. But I see opportunities. I see opportunities and I take opportunities. ZBEC now is up better than 30% from where we started buying it. You know, I had that little, I thought it could roll up, and even if we were bearish, it could come up and get a 78% gain and get rejected at 1.4. It was almost a 1x. But we'll see. We'll see if it keeps playing out. Right now, it's doing everything we needed it to. And almost looks like it created a big inverted hammer. Tom used bad word. Glad he's not on the radio or someone will get a huge fine from the friendly folks at the FCC. Well, fortunately, when I'm doing my show here, I have the freedom of, what I want to say. But with the understanding of being on the radio, I know how it works. Oh, I know how it works. That's why we call it testicular radio, right? But you got to play by the rules if you want to be part of it. So, I like where we're sitting. And then I'll go real quick. Look at XRP 2 bouncing back up to almost $2.48. Very true, anti-communist. Very true. For giving your house win. Absolutely. What a great live. I think this was a great live. I know it's been an hour and 3 minutes. I know I keep teasing that I'm about to leave, which I am. But I think it's been a great live. I think we're watching XRP go up to this first layer at $2.79 here. I think we're moving. I think it looks like we're moving a little bit here. I'm just waiting for a burst here. Even if it's a breakdown, like it doesn't get the energy it needs, it's got to have a big movement here. And I think that descending wedge is telling us what we need to know. And I think the way we perceive this target is pretty damn good. I think it's pretty damn good. So have a blessed evening, everybody. No donations tonight, which is actually pretty nice, to be honest with you. I felt like the donation came through the conversation today. It was a good tone today. Good tone. I love all the members of Tom's Army here who support my work. It is my mission and my duty and my promise to always keep my stuff free. And that's the way it's always going to be. So I do appreciate the ones in Tom's Army and so on and so forth that have, supported the program, shared, followed. 31,100 of you have now hit that follow button in the channel, which is fantastic. The fact that Luna came through here, or Luna Classic, the fact that it came back through here is rather interesting. It really, even if you look at it like this, we can start to draw an all-time pattern. This revalidated it every single time it came through. And then we've got definitely descending resistance, which we're making higher lows here. Lower highs. So, you're working through this pattern. Theoretically, the fact that it used this, it came below it, but the fact that now it's bounced back, in all estimations, even if this is bearish, when you hold support, so you buy resistance, sell support, or buy support, sell resistance. Wow, I just said it backwards. So you're selling up here, but buying down here. From here, you could see a quick surge. These have quick surges back up, even if they're bearish, but I don't necessarily know if this is bearish. This could be the start of something big if this reverses back up. So we'll look at this again tomorrow. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Added it to the board, anti-communist. But thank you all for tuning in. I got to go with Julie and my son. I can hear him. But it's starting to move here a little bit, so I'm pretty excited. I'm glad we did the live when we did it today, at the time we did it, as it turns out. But other than that, have a blessed evening. Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Remain humble. Show humility.